Hello and welcome to History of Dragon Ball. Today we are looking at Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 70. So Chapter 70 dropped, and this one is called The Universe's Greatest Warrior. So we're going to do what we've done before. We're going to give a quick recap of what happened within the chapter. So obviously there will be spoilers within this video. So if you don't want to be spoiled for anything just yet, perhaps add this to your watch later list and come back to it another time. But let's just jump into it. So the chapter starts with us back with Granola and the dragon, with Granola emphasizing that he wants to become the greatest warrior in the universe. And the dragon confirms that this is not including the gods themselves. It turns out that the dragon is only just capable of doing this, but it does mean that he has to accept some conditions. But we don't find out what these are straight away. But no matter what they are, Granola says he will accept them. We then take a quick trip over to Beerus' planet, where Vegeta is trying to learn the Hakai technique still. He does manage to blow up a little rock, but Beerus tells him this was just a ki blast, not pure destruction. As when you use a Hakai and completely wipe out something from existence, the amount of energy that is released, so the pure power that comes from it, is just extreme, and he gives a good example of this. We then also go across to Whis and Goku, who are basically talking about Beerus training Vegeta and how Goku just doesn't really care. He is there for Ultra Instinct, nothing else. It doesn't matter what Vegeta's doing, let him be his own man, as he says. Then they have a quick little exchange with the Oracle Fish talking about who the strongest warrior in the universe is, whether it is Goku or Vegeta. But the Oracle Fish, even though he says he knows, he will not tell, and that is a nice little exchange between them there. But the Oracle Fish does say that the strongest warrior in the universe will soon rise up, which realistically says to them both it is not Goku or Vegeta. However, here, Vegeta does show that he has managed to learn the Hakai a little bit, managing to destroy the tiniest little stone, but nonetheless showing that his power is increasing greatly. We then come back to Granola. The Dragon Balls fly apart, his wish has been granted, he now has long hair, which we aren't sure of just why yet, but it shows the wish is done. He has a quick little test of his power, destroying this big boulder using what very much looks like the Hakai technique. It doesn't actually get revealed by name at this point. And from this explosion, the old Namekian realizes what Granola has done. He realizes that the Dragon Ball is gone, and he is shocked that Granola has actually gone through with it. But at the end of the day, all Granola wants with his life is to take down Frieza. So whatever can make that possible, he was willing to do. Granola realizes he cannot sense Frieza from where he is, so he has to go back to the Heaters to find out about Frieza's location. So Granola jumps in his ship and makes off to find Alec. We then take a quick look back at Whis, Goku and Vegeta, with Vegeta and Goku still arguing with the fish, but Whis has seen what has happened, and he realizes that this may cause some problems. We also get to see Granola cut off his hair, so the long-haired Super Saiyan 3 look didn't really last long at all. But we now come back to Granola walking in on the Heaters. He barges in the middle of a show, but obviously doesn't care, asking where is Frieza? They obviously just laughed him, knowing that he's nowhere near strong enough to take on Frieza, and he honestly doesn't care. They think he's being a bit disrespectful, so they send Oil to go and beat him up. Obviously we don't really have much of an idea of how strong Oil really is in the grand scheme of things, but he's obviously the big guy. Granola deals with him very easily, dodges everything, knocks him on his butt, and that's about it. Although Oil does try to fight back once more, but again, Granola dodges everything, breaks the ground beneath him, and sends him tumbling. So now that Oil is done, Maki was going to tag in, except Oil makes a sneak attack, throwing a large chunk of the floor at Granola, but again, Granola just wipes it out with no effort. So now she attacks, and again, he deals with her very easily. It then looks like Gas is going to join the fight, but Alec decides there is no need, we've seen his power, why get beaten up anymore? But he is not done. He realizes that there is something unusual about this big power up. So, in return for the information of where Frieza is, he wants to know why. And Granola reveals he used the Dragon Balls. This is where we learn what the condition of Granola's wish truly was, and it is a big one. In exchange for the power that Granola has gained, he has to have sacrificed most of his remaining life. The Cerealians can live up to 200 years, and Granola is only about 50, so he had to basically sacrifice 150 years for the power that he receives to only have 3 years now to use it. I mean, at the end of the day, all Granolah does care about is beating Frieza. And if that means he can only live 3 years and have Frieza defeated, that is all he cares about. Elec reveals that they don't know right now where Frieza is, so they got to go away and find it out. So they send Granolah away, who says he will wait patiently, but obviously he does not have long. Then we cut to the Heaters having a meal discussing what has just happened. And we find out that the Heaters' real plan is to take over from Frieza, but they want his army. So, from where they took 7-3 previously, they have learned about these two Saiyans, obviously Goku and Vegeta. So what their plan is to send Granolah to fight the two Saiyans, so despite him being the greatest warrior in the universe now, the two together should be enough to take him down. Everyone can wipe each other out, and the Heaters can eventually step in, take over Frieza's army, and realistically control the universe, because that is all they want. And then we end with a very nice panel of each of Granolah, Goku and Vegeta saying, at last, fate will bring these three together. And then that's the end of the chapter, and it says the next one will hit on April the 20th. But now we have summed that up, what do we think? Well, it was definitely a very interesting chapter. I mean, I've been on the edge about this whole wish to be the greatest thing, and obviously you could tell it was going to come with some kind of compromise, which is only live in 3 years instead of 150. But the thing is, a lot can happen within 3 years. Think of the likes of Frieza. He took, 6 months to go from Frieza Saga level Frieza to Super Saiyan God level just by a little bit of training. So within 3 years, think how much training one of these characters could do and become so much stronger. Because remember, Granolah has wished to be the greatest warrior in the universe now. And like the old Namekian says, that doesn't mean there won't be a newer power tomorrow. And as we know, Goku and Vegeta, they love to train, they love to get stronger. So just because Granolah is the strongest in the universe right now, does not mean that he will be the strongest in the universe tomorrow. It's also very interesting to see that Granolah basically uses what looks like a Hakai technique, which Vegeta is also learning. So this is going to be something that when they come together, is going to have some kind of impact. But I do actually like the fact that we, again, spend a little less time with Goku and Vegeta and more with Granolah. One of the things with Dragon Ball Super is it's very much the Goku and Vegeta show. You don't get to see that much of anybody else. Obviously, this one's going to be no different when it comes down to the meat and bones of it, is that it's going to be Goku and Vegeta and possibly Frieza versus Granolah. So we won't get the likes of Gohan, Piccolo, Tien, any of those. But just for a little bit to have a break, to only see them for a few panels at a time, I almost feel is quite refreshing. So all in all, what would I say about this chapter? I enjoyed it. It was a really interesting one. I'm still on the fence about this whole wish for power thing. It seems a bit lazy-ish in the way of writing, and almost like they're running out of ideas on how to get a stronger person. But it's probably just going to end up as an added motivation to push Goku and Vegeta even further up the ladder again. So would I say this was a good chapter? Yes, I really think I would. Obviously not the most action-packed. We do get to see Granolah kick a load of butt, but these are only on some heaters, so we don't really assume that they're that powerful in the grand scheme of everyone that we know in the Dragon world. So now that we've kind of come to an end of that, I'd really like to know what your thoughts on this chapter were down in the comments below. Is there anything that I failed to mention on this quick read-through summary? Because honestly, this is very much an initial reaction to everything. So there's very likely there might be little bits here and there that I have missed. So please leave those thoughts of yours in the comments below. I'd love to read them and engage with you. Thank you for reaching the end of this video. We will try and get more videos out on anything that comes up from this chapter in the future, as well as coming back next month for chapter 71. So again, thank you once more if you have managed to reach the end of this video with me, and I will see you next time on History of Dragon Ball.